All right, so we're basically just stealing Dean Legge's idea. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Georgia wins 24-14. Was that the final score?
It was.
A 10-point score. So, overall thoughts?
Clearly issues, right? I
Yeah.
mean, but panic mode, no. Came back out in the second half, and defense looked obviously held them to no points in the second half, and then offense started driving. I just think it's going to take a time. This is not.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a deer.
Yeah, they were baby deer. But anyway, I just think it's going to take some time. I'm not in panic mode. I am concerned a little bit. The running game looked better with Dijon back in there, clearly. First half, though, we were getting beat on the offensive line.
Offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah. Well, I was looking more at the offensive line. I can tell you.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What was that?
I have no idea. They do have a pull around where they can hit the roundabout, but
it was terrible. Anyway, defensive line was getting whipped up front, and the fact that the South Carolina offensive line gave up 9 sacks against UNC, and Georgia only got 3 sacks total. Not good.
Clear to me that if we're going to get consistent pressure on the quarterback, Mikael Williams has to be in there.
That, and then we're going to have to design blitzes. And the design blitzes in the second half, well, let's start in the first half. They were not working, and it was like delay. It looked off. The blitzes looked off to me. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did.
No, I didn't notice. Everything in the first half looked off.
Yeah, in the second half it looked a little bit better, but it was off. And then still not enough pressure. I know Rattler was doing a really good job, getting rid of the ball pretty quickly and avoiding the pressure. But the second half, we started getting more pressure and started thudding him up a little bit, and his accuracy went obviously way down.
Well, definitely more pressure in the second half, and you can see that by his numbers, right? But,
yeah.
I'm more stuck on the offense. I think defensively, look, man, we had guys out in the secondary, right? And I know you can say the same thing about offensively. We got Land McConkey still out, but offensively, this is going to be a slow come, meaning it's going to take a while for this offense to gel and to get right. And I think it is going to be completely different, hopefully, than after game 4, 5, 6 than it is right now. But it's going to take a while. I don't blame Bobo, but I will tell you.
You don't. So are you worried about Bobo?
A little bit. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know what play it was, but I was watching the game and I said this is either going to be a screen or a draw. It was 3rd and 6, and it's like,
was it a screen in the red area?
Yeah, it was.
Who was that?
It was wide receiver screen, I think.
Yeah, who was that?
Was it Bell? Seems like it was Bell.
Seems like it was Bell. We're both thinking the same thing.
Here's the thing. If a guy who's a dumbass sitting on the couch
is calling the plays.
Yeah, and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Don't you think guys that get paid millions of dollars and study this shit for, a living know that's coming too? And it's that kind of stuff that really, that uncreative, I don't know if that's the right word, predictable, I think is, and they've been awfully conservative, and I think that comes from Kirby, and I think it probably comes from Bobo too, which I get. We got first-year quarterback starting. We're going to be extremely conservative, and it looks to me like, you tell me what your thoughts are, but I saw a little bit more of a willingness to use the middle of the field this week than I saw in the previous weeks.
In the second half, yeah. First half, no. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if he had to get comfortable and get his feet wet. I don't know if it's to blame Bobo or is it to blame Beck. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know, but I know this. Got to use and that's one of the things that Monken did, I thought, extremely well. I thought, if I was going to be a critic of Monken, that would be abandoning the run game a little bit sooner than he should. Bobo, by the way, that is different. If he finds a hot running back,
he's going to give it to
he's
him.
going to ride that hot running back.
Yeah.
And, you know, that worked. Obviously, third and fourth quarter with Dijon, but
Sure.
that's more of a, don't you agree that's more of a Bobo thing?
That's definitely a Bobo. Monken would never do that. And I don't think any Georgia offensive coordinator has done it since Bobo was
But it's
around.
almost like, well, shit, Bobo, that was there, you know?
Yeah.
It could have been there.
I don't know. But, I mean, it always has felt like Bobo's offenses have started off slow. And maybe that's recency bias and it's in my mind, but if you go back and you look at, like, the 2012 offense and you pick a random game to go on YouTube and you watch it, they started off slow. Every game.
You're talking about, like, in the actual game, not in the season.
Yeah, not in the season, the actual games. It felt like there were very few games where Georgia jumped on an opponent like that, and that hasn't happened. I mean, that only has happened under Kirby Smart, and it has really only been in the Todd Monken era.
That stuff's got to stop, because I'm going to tell you, you start playing Hugh Freeze offense, Lane Kiffin offense, and they can put up some points. Instead of, you know, South Carolina fumble farting around to find 14 points, you could very easily be down 28, 31 points to 10. All of a sudden, that's a completely different animal. If we can't learn to, like, start, I don't know, executing at the very tip top of the game, what the hell? Kicking the ball out of bounds, the kicking, I don't even want to get started on that.
The kicking's got to be figured out.
Yeah.
It's got to be figured out.
Get your beat.
I think Zirkle, if you know, Zirkle became the kickoff guy. It wasn't Woodridge or Woodring, whatever the hell you say. It doesn't matter. He's about to sit on the bench for at least a year. I don't think we'll ever see him again.
Was it Zirkle that kicked the ball out of bounds to start the game, or was it Woodring?
It might have been Woodring. I think. I could be wrong on that, but I think Zirkle's probably going to be the guy, which is not a good feeling. But I think not Zirkle, but I think Woodring, I think it's a mental thing with him. Because Kirby said it, that he hasn't missed it in practice. So, and kicking a ball from 93,000 people, that's a lot different than kicking a ball, in practice. So, I don't know.
Didn't Zirkle kick some? Where have I said? And I wasn't overly impressed like last year, right?
Yeah, he kicked some last year. He kicked early in the season.
Well, I hope they get it fixed. But yeah, that's problematic. Well, especially if you can't score 7 in the red zone.
Well, yeah,
because you're going to run, draw play or screen.
Yeah, and they're chip shot field goals. 2 of the ones they missed. Defensively, Georgia played fine, I thought. I think they made adjustments in the halftime. Went out there. I think they pretty much dominated. I don't think South Carolina, I think they crossed the ball, or they crossed the 50 one time.
In the second half?
I'm pretty sure.
That could be right. I don't know. They didn't get much. I know that. It was a tale of two halves for sure. Put a lot more pressure on him. I thought Everett and was it Daniels?
They looked hesitant.
They did it first half. They played better in the second half.
Yeah,
I got
sure.
no problem.
Everett played much better in the second half.
Yeah, I got no problem with the secondary. I really don't. I mean, I think it was, honestly, in a lot of ways, I think it was good to get them in there and get them some live fire against SEC opponents.
Sure.
They got better Saturday, for sure. I think it made me feel a whole lot better if we can friggin' get healthy, man.
Yeah, the laundry list of injuries have piled up. Roderick Robinson is out with an ankle. Don't know if we'll get him back. Kendall Milton, again, with the MCL. The biggest news is Amarius Mims out to 4 to 6 weeks with a tightrope ankle surgery. So he won't be back till Florida or Ole Miss, it looks like.
Is that the same surgery? What's the tight end I had, Lawson Lucky? Is that the same?
Yeah, it was the same injury. So we'll see. Georgia's got to go. We shouldn't do a look ahead because this is a UAB game, but still we need to keep that. But you got Auburn, you got Kentucky, and then you have Vanderbilt obviously in there. We're not going to talk about that. And then you have your bye, and then you have Florida.
Kentucky, well, Auburn and Kentucky scared the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's a really, and if they go unscathed, Georgia should be okay. If Georgia goes unscathed in that little time frame right there, I don't think. I think Georgia will be in an okay spot. But
based on what I saw, do you believe Georgia becomes unscathed? Based on the play that we saw Saturday, do you believe they come away unscathed against those two teams?
The only one that would scare me, which one I would say would be the most likely to lose would be Auburn, given that it's at Jordan here. We play Kentucky inside Sanford, so
that'd be great. We'll lose to Hugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible that Georgia loses to Auburn. I just would not be shocked.
Evidently, that stadium has bad mojo. I'd like to see a game over there. I've never seen one.
Me too. But, all right, so let's get into the grades and wrap this up. What would be... Oh, we were, wrong about the score. I'm not even going to talk about that.
Yeah,
I was right on Carson Beck. I was pretty close on his numbers. I said he'll be throw close to 300 or over 300, and he threw it to 270 basically.
269, yeah, I think.
So I was credit to me.
No problem with Carson Beck.
No, he is a check down machine. That has to be fixed, but that's okay. Whatever, doesn't turn the ball over. I'll take it. All right, give me your grade for Georgia's performance against South Carolina. Overall score.
C.
C, just a C.
Just not even a C plus or a C minus, like 75 at the most.
What are we doing? I'm so tired of these.
All black too. He's riding a bicycle in all black.
And it's, well, as you can tell, it's starting to get dark.
Gay cow turd hat.
Well, okay.
Am I not supposed to say that?
Probably not, but whatever. We're already rolling. Anyway, it'll probably be I'm gonna give what did I give him in the blog? I think a B.
You gave him a B minus, I thought.
I'll stick with my B minus. The second half is so funny to me. The national media goes, well, Georgia just showed you why they're back-to-back national championships. Oh boy, they're really good. And then the SEC media and the SEC fans and Georgia fans and Georgia media are like, oh. So it's funny how those two viewpoints are being conflated right now. But I think Georgia's a really good team. I think they have to stop with the slow starts. The injuries are killing us, but Georgia should win every game that they play.
I agree with that.
There are going to be favorites in all of them. So I'm a little worried. I'm not scared. I'm not hitting the panic button.
The margin of error with this team, this is what I would say. The margin of error with this team right now is much less than it was in the last 2 years. Meaning,
well, absolutely,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I said, teams that can score points, they always scare you. But I think they scare me more this year because it's going to take a while for this offense, and they're not going to be as dynamic.
Well, Georgia just played that team. Who outside? I mean, I don't. Kentucky, Ole Miss doesn't scare me with scoring the points. We'll see against Alabama. I think Georgia has a better defense than Alabama. We'll see.
Alabama's this year. Prove me wrong. Yeah. They look like garbage.
Yeah. So I
appreciate the resiliency. I think that is. I mean, some of it, you never can say, well, they're totally wrong and this is totally right. But you know what I mean? Like, nationally, they're saying this is why Georgia's back-to-back. It is. The it takes a lot to beat Georgia, and Georgia doesn't beat themselves, right? With penalties and turnovers and stupid mistakes that you're now seeing Alabama do. And with the athletes that Kirby recruits, we're going to be in every ball game, but we've got to be a little bit more explosive and obviously more dynamic on offense than what we've been. Defensively, I'm not overly worried. I think teams are going to be able to run on us more than they've been able to in the past. But our defensive backs...
Yeah, well, you don't have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
So that's
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker, yeah, Nolan Smith. That's what happens.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will probably be back on YouTube Thursday with a video talking about the UAB game. Till then, if you need your package shipped, go on Unishippers. And if you want to read more about, I don't know, I'm a terrible pitchman. If you need some Georgia info, Dawn of the Dog, if you want to read my crappy routing.
DAWN.
All right.
Dawn of the Dog.
Yep. All right. I think everyone got it. All right. See you then.